Today we're going to talk about Primary 2A, Exercise 2, and we'll use the textbook page 9 to talk about this. In the textbook on page 9, at the top, it has a box that talks about having 6 tens and 5 ones. And I like to represent that with the little square with a check mark. Those are each tens. So I have 6 tens and 5 ones. And then it wants us just to think about numbers. I'll change color so the answers are different than the questions. And if we were going to have one more than 65, we would just add another 1 to that spot. And one more than 65 would still be 6 tens, but we would have 6, instead of 5 ones, we would have 6 ones. So 1 more than 65 is 66. When I say 1 less than 65, it means I start with the 65, the 6 tens and the 5 ones, and 1 less than that means I would take off a 1. I would still have 6 tens, but now I have 4 ones. But look at it and think about the difference if I have 10 more. That means I'm going to put a whole nother box down with a check mark. It'll show me I have 10 more numbers. And instead of 65, 6 tens, 5 ones, I'm going to have 75, 7 tens, 5 ones. And if I have 10 less than 65, I would remove one of the tens. So instead of having 6 tens, I would now have 5 tens. So 10 less is 55. Reading it carefully is important, but then also just thinking about and understanding the numbers. So can you do this one, all of number 5, by thinking through it? What if you paused the recording and answered those questions and then turned it back on to see if we get the same answers? 2 more than 65 means I'm going to still have 6 tens, but instead of 5 ones, I'll have 7 ones. 2 less than 65 means I'll still have 6 tens, but instead of 5 ones, I will go down to 3 ones. 20 more than 65 is going to add 2 more tens to my list, and that will give me 8 tens, 5 ones, or 85. If I have 20 less than 65, I will take away 2 20s. Now I'm down to 4 20s, and I still have 5, so 45 is the answer to that last one. Let's look at the other questions at the bottom of the page. They don't draw a picture, they just want us to think about it. 80 plus 1, we know that one, right? That's 81, that's an easy one. 80 plus 2, also easy. I have 8 tens and 2 ones, that makes it 82. What about 80 plus 10? I have 8 tens and another 10. Altogether I have 9 tens, but notice I have to write that 0 or it's not the right answer. What about 80 plus 20? That's 8 tens and 2 tens. Do you remember last year we talked a lot about number bonds? 10 is a number bond with 2 and 8. So 8 tens and 2 tens is 10 tens, or the more common name for 10 tens is 100. So then we're going to subtract. What about 80 take away 1? Is that easy for you to think about? Have you been practicing counting forwards, counting backwards? 80 take away 1 means you're going to go to 79 if you just count backwards. 80 take away 2 is 78. 80 take away 10, 8 tens, take away 1 10, that's going to be 70. 80 take away 2 tens, what does that give you? 8 tens, take away 2 tens, Now you're at 6 tens. And again, you always have to have a 0 at the end of it if it's a 10. So with that reminder and that practice, you'll be doing really well and fully prepared to do exercise 2.